Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today's topic is called Making Schools Accessible. This is a topic that was given to me by someone on Twitter. I thought it was a very important topic, so this is what today's video is about. I'm going to be glancing at my notes a lot, just so you know. One thing that I know is that all buildings have to take into account specifications that are required by the ADA, and the ADA stands for Americans with Disabilities Act. By law, schools and all other buildings have to make sure that every person can access it safely, which means everyone can enter and exit safely. If that means making making ramps for people with walkers and wheelchairs, that has to be done. If it means widening areas so wheelchairs and walkers are able to come in and out of all entrances and exits safely, that has to be done as well. Schools need to make sure that visually impaired and hearing impaired students are supported by providing the right accommodations like ASL and Braille or anything else that's needed. Every school needs to make sure that they are providing all the accommodations that every student deserves or needs. Schools first need to do all required testing comes that comes to that comes with the diagnosing a disability. Diagnosing a disability can help schools with providing the right accommodations for each student. Schools need to make sure that they are providing speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy if a child needs it or a student needs it. Schools need to make sure that they're providing accommodations like double time, extra time on assignments, or and or assignments are read to students that need it. Answers are written for tests or assignments for the children that need it. Providing uh, bigger font sizes for assignments or tests if the child needs it. Like these accommodations may work for one student but not work for another. So accommodations may be different for each child, just so you know. Each school needs to make sure they are meeting the guidelines under the ADA. Schools should provide sensory friendly spaces for people with autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, and other disabilities so they have a quiet, safe place to retreat to when they are overwhelmed. Pleasant spaces, not bathrooms or closets. And this was told to me by someone on Twitter who has autism, which is really cool to hear because I work with kids with autism. Schools need to make sure that every school needs to provide a sensory room just in case any student needs this. This was the information I'm about to present comes from one person, and she has autism as well. And this is not the same person I mentioned before. So she said, based on, I asked for some help for this because I had my information, but I wanted some extra information that I think could benefit someone. Okay, so she said some of the types of accommodations I always had the least issue with was getting extra time for testing, and this was an issue for her. But she said by simply being allowed to leave class or being notified before time, ahead of time for changes in the day, like a fire drill or assembly, was harder, but still very important. This is the same person. One thing I know about autism, so you guys know, is they have a lot of sensory issues, and this is what I'm about to discuss. So sensory issues are a big deal for a lot of autistic people or autistics. Um, Even without other difficulties, sensory pain in schools can get in the way of learning properly and feeling safe in school. She also told me a lot of sensory processing differences are commonplace in autism, but they can be found elsewhere. They can affect all in any and all senses. This can make it more can be more sensitive or less sensitive at times. I had a question I wanted to ask her, and I asked her, how do you know it? Do you, as I asked her, do you know if there are ways that schools can help people with autism manage sensory pain? This is her answer. She said a few basic things. Let the student take breaks whenever needed in a less stimulating area. Always let STEM give access to fidget, and I'm going to tell you what stimming is later. Supply sensory tools as such as headphones and sunglasses. Okay. Let them choose where they sit in the classroom. Offer warnings before loud noises, which cannot always be done, let's be honest, with autism because you may not be aware of there's going to be a loud noise coming. So, stimming is repetitive behavior such as rocking, hand flapping, repeating certain sounds and words, finger tapping, way more. It can show up in many forms and it is important because they are regulatory. They help them process the world. I had no idea, and I work with autistic kids. It's really cool to hear uh, someone that has autism and hear their points, and so I can actually help me with my job when I'm doing it. It's really awesome. Okay. Everyone should have access to school, whether they have a disability or not. Everyone should be able to work in a safe environment when it comes to school or any other buildings. Everyone should be given the opportunity to participate in school-based instruction or activities regardless if if it has to be adapted. Schools should be accessible and accommodating for everyone. This is a question I have for you guys. Would you rather me have two different uh, YouTube channels, one with the faith-based content and the other with um, content for people with disabilities, or would you rather me have one YouTube page or YouTube channel where I share God-centered experiences and content for disabilities? Please let me know in the comment section. That would really help me. Thanks. And the other question I have, would you like me to, would you want to hear me talk about making all areas accessible for people with disabilities? Or another topic I could talk about is the importance of inclusion with people with disabilities. Or would you rather me do my second live stream on what the definition of a normal person is? Let me know in the comment section, please. Love you guys, and thanks for watching. Bye!